for me better? Or is it completely screwing up your agenda?
Yeah, this is, let's see if I can, this is the agenda. I was going to go through the speaker introductions. Actually, we have another speaker that's going to be coming at 10:30 at half past the hour. They're going to be a little late, so we get started. But this is the agenda that I was going to go through today. Tomas and Rob, for your information, just letting you know who the speakers are for each of the timing, the communications technology, and I was going to show you a template for what we're using. So this first speaker on Monday is at 14 UTC. That's the first session. And that's Tomas, you're on there, Rob, you're on there, and we have Cees Hoff will be the third speaker for the first session. And
I don't mind going first, Yolanda, if that helps Thomas out.
Okay. What do you think?
If that works in your schedule.
That would give me some room to run.
Yeah, probably I need 15 minutes maybe, but if it helps.
How long is this presentation?
It's an hour long. The sessions will be about an hour long, so there'll be an introduction, and then we're giving about 12 to 13 minutes per speaker.
I will try to arrange kind of a replacement for me for the exam, and I will see how it works out. So let's now keep that time as it is.
Okay.
And I will discuss again with my colleagues, because I think the 15 minutes doesn't really give me much, because the exam is 1 hour, so it will finish like 10 past after we start. So I would have to then do the webinar somewhere in the corridor at the university. So that's bad for the webinar.
Okay.
So I would rather try to get somebody else to supervise the exam.
Okay. Let us know. Because it's probably 5 minutes for an introduction, and then if we have Rob and Cees going first, that would probably that'll bring us at, and then they could do a 5-minute Q&A after that, so that we could do the Q&As after each of them. That was one of my questions as well, when to do the question and answer session. But if we were to do a question and answer after Rob's speech, that would give him probably about 17 minutes. So you could go last, basically, if you still wanted to be the speaker. So let us know. We can make this work.
Okay.
Okay. So all right. So with the June 15th at 14 UTC, and then the next one is at 11 UTC. Peter Nish, right? Daniel is going to have a recording for his session. Did I understand that right?
He'll be able to join.
Oh, good.
So yeah, he's in Melbourne, and he just asked, since he can't join today, whether we can open up 15 minutes early, and he'll just check things out.
Okay.
Which I think we can do easily, right? So
yeah, we can do that. That's basically a best practice for all of you, and I put that in a little bit earlier. If you can join at the time of the webinar about 10 to 15 minutes prior to the hour, just so we can make sure that and troubleshoot any technology issues, that would be fantastic. So this, hold on just a second, Cees just got back to me. Just want to make sure I'm responding. If is it a female or a male? Cees, do you know, Daniel?
I think it's Case is a Dutch name, male Dutch name, unless I'm totally. Do you know Thomas or Rob?
Yeah.
I've seen Case with a K, but I think with the C is an alternative spelling.
I don't know her. No.
Well, he or she will be joining soon. Okay, so I just didn't want to. I don't know that person personally. Okay, so we have Peter Nish. Well, so all of you, if you can join 10 to 15 minutes prior to the event, that would be fantastic. The timing, as I mentioned earlier, we're hoping to keep it under no more than an hour. If we go over, it's not awful, but we want to respect people's timelines, and this is how we're promoting it. Introductions, we're thinking it'll take about 5 minutes. And then the 3 speakers will each have 12 minutes. And then we've allotted a question and answer time limit of 15 minutes. But how that will work, we can, I guess, depending on Tomas's schedule, we might be able to, and then this is all your preference too, what you thought, what your thoughts are on doing it at the very end of the webinar, or if you prefer to have a 5 minutes at the end of each of your speeches, because I know your topics are so different. I can argue it both ways, but in the end, it's what your preference level is. So Rob, Tomas, how would you like to handle questions and answers on your speech?
So if they're unrelated or, not a heavy overlap, it might be best to do it immediately after each one. Just
I think so.
Yeah, just thinking that by the time the third speaker finishes, the audience may have moved on to other questions for the others. So my preference, I guess, would be to answer questions immediately.
Same here.
Okay. All right, so we'll make that work for you, and that, Tomas, that'll work. Help you if you need to come in later. So that would work out great, and I think it makes sense too. Daniel, do you disagree, or are you okay with that?
That sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. The slide deadline is, we're hoping to have, we can talk about how we want the slide sharing to work in the next slide, but in the end, we want to be able to share the slides at the time of the presentation, if possible, with the attendees, and definitely include a link to them in an email after the presentation. So if possible, there's going to be some formatting. There may be some consolidation needs. So if you can get your slides to us by Thursday, that would be great. So we can have Friday to prep them for the webinar on Monday. So that would be hopeful. And we have a template that I can share with you at that point too. And I'll go into that in a second.
So quick question for you, Yolanda.
Yeah.
I was going to do a brief demo. I would be perfectly comfortable doing that in Zoom, but GoToMeeting not so much. I can do it just in slides, and maybe that's the best way to go, so we don't have to worry about technology hiccups. But if I do think that I might do 5 minutes worth of demo, would that be reasonable?
I think that would be great. Yeah, if you can fit that into if that falls into your time schedule, I think a demo of everything would make a lot of sense. So if you can do that, if you want to try to, do you have it ready? I mean, I can try to give you access right now if you wanted to test it out without doing a Zoom. I'm not sure if or we can do this offline too, but whatever you're comfortable with.
Well, yeah, let me. I'm just trying to think for future presentations also. I'm almost thinking of because I have trouble staying in a allotted time amount, and actually I'm considering maybe I should record mine also so I can make sure that it's near the 12 minutes. If you put me live, and that way I could do the demo, within a Zoom recording, and we can just then show a video from YouTube or whatever it may be. So if you give me 12 minutes and say talk about this project, I will tend to go on unless I'll tend to go over unless I have a pre-recorded version of it or something that I can watch the time closely and edit down.
Okay.
And
so you can always yell at you during it too. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, so whatever works for you.
So would it be feasible to show a YouTube video during that 12 minutes? Will that work via GoToMeeting? Yeah,
so we would probably just give you, I'd hand over presentation controls and then you could run it that way with that, or if you gave me the link ahead of time, I could run it from here as an organizer and then whatever comfortable, and it should work. If you give it to me ahead of time, I'll try to test it out too, but I think it should be fine.
Okay.
Daniel,
And
do you
of
any
course,
options?
for questions.
Mhm.
So the question answer session could be available, and then I could reuse it and actually send it to some other people to take a look at. So that might be a better use overall of the time because I'm presenting this several more times in the next 2 months or so.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. You could reuse it multiple times. Daniel, am I missing anything on this, or does that sound right to you?
No,
For
that
me,
seems fine. So you would do the whole 12 minutes as a video, Rob, or would you throw to yourself on YouTube for a few minutes?
No, so I would do the whole 12 minutes, and that way I could record the demo also, and that also makes sure that I don't have any glitches and miss to the demo.
Yeah.
Live
No,
demo,
they're
even
always exciting, aren't they? So
so. And yeah. So let me consider that, and I'll either come with a video, and I'll know by Thursday. I'll get you something definitely by Thursday, so you know whether it's a video or a standard slide presentation.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay. So, all right. So, and then, so we'll cross that bridge when we come to. So, Tomas, if you can't get your slides to us or whoever's speaking for you by Thursday, just let us know. But we're just hoping to consolidate everything ahead of time, like I said earlier.
okay, no problem. I should have them ready
Okay.
soon.
Thanks. All right. So just in terms of promotion, we've done a little bit of promotion so far in our newsletter and on the website, but this week we're going to do a strong push. We're doing a member email. All our regions are doing outreach to their specific partners and contacts. We're going to be posting onto the group pages like you've seen before we've done. So that usually gets attendance up quite a bit. And we'll be doing a big push on social media. I mean, if within your own networks, if you can help us promote, that would be great. We have capacity for up to 500 attendees. So not registrations, attendees. So hopefully we'll get a huge turnout. So of course, the intent of all of this was to replace Adoption Week, which was supposed to happen in Australia. So we're hoping to do a big turnout on this. And then the post communications, we're going to have a satisfaction survey in place. We're going to be sending out an email to all the attendees and the registrants, even if they didn't attend. That, like I said, would include a link to the presentation. There's an online catalog. There's a co-data call for papers. There's funding still available. So Europe is hoping that we can do a big push on that. So we'll be doing that as well. Any questions? And Daniel, feel free to step in if I forgot anything. Okay, so just the technology, and Rob, you have a lot of experience with us too, so if I'm forgetting something, let me know. But I just wanted to clarify who we will be, who you will be, and how that differentiates from the attendees in terms of functionality. So right now, I'm the organizer using the Secretariat GoToWebinar account, and you all are panelists. Bridget is online as an attendee right now. She's listening in quietly. So when you come on about 10 to 15 minutes earlier from the event, when you come on, I'm going to change you to organizer status, and that will allow you to monitor the question and answer panel that's in the bottom of your screen. Tomas and Rob, you can't see that right now, right?
I have a show questions.
Yeah. So okay, and I don't even know if I can do this, but I'm going to make you an organizer, Rob, right now, and I'll make Tomas an organizer. And this is what I'll be doing. This is what I'll be doing at the time of when you come on early. And this will allow you to have, you'll be able to speak, you'll be able to see questions. So maybe Bridget, if you can hear me, Bridget was typed in a question. So can you both see the question that Bridget just typed in the question panel?
Yes.
Great. So
Just a
once I
question.
made you organizer, you can see those questions. So that helps you. So sometimes there's a moderator that just fields the questions to you right away. But what we're hearing is the speakers like to monitor themselves the questions when they come in. So Daniel and I will help you if you miss them, or if you need to manage them a little better. But overall, you'll have the option to see those questions. The attendees will be in listen-only mode. So poor Bridget right now, she's in listen-only mode. But we can change that if we wanted to. So Bridget, I just unmuted you if you wanted to speak. But thank you for the question.
Thank you, and hello everybody.
Yeah. But the default is to have all the attendees in listen-only mode, and we will be instructing them to use the question and answer panel box to submit questions. So the reason to do that is if you have 30 or more, if you have a large number of attendees on the line and they're interrupting verbally, it gets very disruptive, and then you run the risk of you have a higher risk of background noise. So that's what we do in a best practice. But of course, if you have a strong preference otherwise, I wanted to give you the option to push back if so. So Tomas and Rob, are you okay with that approach?
So yeah, that sounds good. Let me ask about this question of monitoring. I tried to respond to Bridget with an answer, and
Yeah,
I
saw that.
So all I see is the question.
Okay, your answer was, this is your answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I get that.
Okay, yeah. And I thought I put it to everybody, but all I'm seeing is this is a question. So I only see the question again, not the answer. But if I'm the only one who sees that, that's fine.
I have the same issue, but I think in general, if people ask us a question, we'll read them out loud and answer. We'll not be typing, I think.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, ideally, we'd want to publicly announce the questions so everyone can hear. But of course, if you have want to text, send the private message and a response to them separately, maybe with your contact information or a private message, that's perfectly fine. But we're hoping we can publicly, verbally address all the questions, I guess.
Okay.
But I don't, unless you send to all, I don't think people won't see the response. You'll be sending it privately. It sounded like what you did with Bridget.
Yeah, I thought I.
Try it again. Yeah.
Let me try. I guess if we're doing it all publicly, this doesn't matter.
Yeah. But if you wanted the option, just to make sure that, and you could also use the chat. That there's a chat if you can both see it. If you wanted to send a message to everyone, you can type in the chat window and you can send it to the entire audience. And that's an interesting feature too, because you can also just send messages just to the organizers by that drop down panel as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking this is actually another reason to record it, because then I can watch the questions a little closer if they come in during the thing. So, okay.
Right, and we'll help you as well. So but yeah, whatever your comfort level is.
Okay.
Okay, so like I said, join the webinar 10 to 15 minutes prior to the start of the event so we can troubleshoot. Screen sharing, that's something we will need to discuss. Okay. Daniel, I didn't send her a panelist invite, Marguerite.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try and figure out how to send an invite now.
Okay. Great. So screen sharing. So Tomas, when you present your slides, I can give you presentation access to present, or if you want, you can have me monitor the slides and I'll change the slides for you. It's a preference thing. Some people don't. I don't like saying next, having someone tell me next slide, but I usually, if there's a pause, I'll know enough to switch the slides if you prefer that. But if you want control, I'll give you presentation access.
Okay, I think I will change the slides myself. It's easier for everyone.
Okay, and if for some reason we have a glitch, if you give me the slides by, this Thursday, if there's an issue, I can always take it back and we can work it through ourselves. But preference, we'll make sure that you have presentation access.
Mhm.
And then Rob, we can troubleshoot with the with your link to see what the best option will be for that for quality too. But I think it could go either way.
Sounds good.
Okay, just making sure it's just us still. Question and answer monitoring, I think we talked about that a little bit as well. What we're also going to be doing in the beginning, in the introduction, is use the Slido tool. Whoops. To I can't even copy that. To give people an option if they have questions, ask those questions ahead of time. To submit their question. Let me see if I don't even think I have it open. Let's see if I can do this for you. There we go. So this is the Slido poll that the adoption committee's been working on. What is one question related to data management RDA outputs that you would like to answer? And we're going to let people give those questions to us, and then we'll. Daniel, how is this going to work exactly? We're going to get the questions, and then how do we? I didn't think logistically how we're going to manage the questions here to answer them. What do you think?
Sorry, switching back.
No, I'm sorry. I know what you're working on something else.
Yeah, that's true, because I think we need to, I think if there's a different display mode,
Mm-hmm.
Slido, you should be able to have the screen which just shows the question and the answers as they come through. So not the admin screen, but the other one.
Okay, all right. Let me confirm how this is going to work, but we're going to be trying to use a Slido technology at the beginning. So I'll try to send input on that as we have it. I don't know, Rob, do you use this at all?
I don't. I've used
Yeah.
Mentimeter, but Slido I'm not familiar with.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And then let's see, who do we have here?
I think it's just a different view, but we're doing that right at the beginning, right? Yolanda?
Right. I'm just thinking though, if we have like 30 questions come in right away, there's going to be impossible to manage that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might have to be selective there. I think the idea is just to get a sense of what people are looking to get out of the webinar.
All right.
And if there are things we can address along the way or follow up afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, I think that we are going to talk about adoption, if people were interested in adopting a product or just learning more about the technology. We can go, I'll get more clarification with that. Okay, and then I'm not sure if all of you know, but you have handouts. If you have the video link, or if you have a flyer, or if you have something you want to share, we can use the handout functionality of GoToMeeting, and we'll be putting a couple of those out as well. But if you have anything ahead of time, that's just something you can keep in mind that we'll be able to use. Any questions?
There's a question from Bridget in the chat, I think. Do we need Slido as well as question and answers box in GoToWebinar? So basically,
Yes.
there are two ways of asking questions.
Yeah, we do. I think the Slido was meant as a more of an indicator of where the audience, what the audience's expectations are at the beginning of the event, and it'll give us an easy metric. I think it was at the tool. So I believe that was the intent of the Slido tool. So when I looked at that question, I just see a lot of answers coming in, and I do see what you're saying, Bridget. It's duplicative, but I'm going to circle back with Marie Gay. She was the one that created the Slido tools, and just to make sure that we can manage this. But the question and answer box is primarily for audience questions related to the presentation materials throughout the whole event. The Slido tool is basically a link that people just put their first question in and they won't see that again. Go ahead.
Do you want to add some questions to Slido about where people come from, or what are they doing? What is their background? So just that we better understand who are we talking to?
Yeah, and we have some of that in the registration page too. So would that help if I gave you the list of attendees ahead of time? So maybe by Friday I can send you both the attendee lists that includes that data.
Would be useful.
Okay.
Yeah,
That would be
I
nice.
think the Slido ones will be just icebreakers. So we do have one about what people's primary role are and their discipline, for example.
Okay.
Just to get a sense of who's here. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So very simplistic, but I know some, until we just wanted to hammer down these details. So we won't need the whole hour, but I just did want to give you the opportunity to give you what our plan was and let you come on board, or if you had any options to do it differently, we're definitely receptive to that as well. But for the most part, I think we're okay. You both are comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good. One question, is this the general format for the entire adoption week, or are we just talking Monday here? Because I know there's another one coming up that I'm doing for the education, or I guess on Friday. If they'll have a similar meeting to this one, or can I take this? Basically, it's can I attend this meeting and say I've already seen the introduction?
They're all running it a little differently. So I think you're working with Ryan and Alex Della Palta for the webinar. So they may have a little bit of a different flow, but overall, I think this is where this is the direction we're all going in. And what I failed to show you is this template I'll send you the link to the slides I just shared with you that has this. But this is basically the template that they're using for each of them overall with the speakers and things. But I think overall, there's the introduction is going to be the same using Slido. They're depending on how they do the speakers, they might end the question and answer. We have some variables. So depending on preferences of the speakers and our preferences, there might be some variations, but overall, this is where we're trying to accomplish here.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
All clear.
All clear. And Cease, I see that you joined, so we can stay after and talk to you separately if you'd like.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So Rob and Tomas, this Cease is going to be the other speaker in the panel. He just joined a little late because he had another engagement, but you're welcome to stay on again. We're gonna bring Cease up to speed on what we just shared with you. But you're also free to go too.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Bye.
Talk to you
Thanks,
soon.
both.
Thanks again for doing this.
No problem.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Right. Yes, it's is it Case there, or just to
Yeah, it's Case actually. Yes.
Case, and the last name is Hoff, or
Hoff, yeah.
Hoff. Yeah. Okay, great. Just so we introduce you correctly.
That's because I already did it wrong. Go ahead,
No,
Daniel.
I know this is even in the Netherlands, this is a difficult issue sometimes because some people with the same name call themselves Cease, so yeah, who am I to blame foreigners pronounce the wrong way?
Yeah.
So
And I have to say, my colleague Margriet Bloemisch was also about to join us, but I don't see her in the list, so I think she didn't make it in the end. I'm not sure, but I will take notes and I will communicate with her what you just told me. So
Yeah, no worries. I did just add her to the panelists, so she should have got the same email, but only a few minutes ago. So, so yeah, Yolanda, I guess we'll just go through.
Yeah. So yeah, Case. So what I just shared with Rob Quick, who's in our U.S. office, and Tomas. Basically, I introduced all of you, and I'm going to go through the timing a little bit of the presentation itself, the communication outreach that's taking place, and go through some of the technology, and I'll share with you the presentation. And I can give this to you after as well, so you can share with your colleague. But the first webinar will be taking place on Monday at 14 UTC. It looks like we'll be having the order of this is a little bit in flux right now, but right now we're looking at having Tomas speak, followed by Rob Quick, and then you will follow speaking about the 23 things. Tomas may go last because he has I think he has an exam, so he's concerned about running late. So I think we'll be putting, it sounds like we will be putting him last. You'll all have about 12 minutes to speak, and Tomas and Rob prefer to do a question and answer session immediately following their own presentations, because the content is going to be so different in how you're presenting, and it's it'll seem more helpful that way, and because of the timing with Tomas's time constraints, that would be helpful. So probably about 17 minutes, including a question and answer session for both of you, all of you. So are you okay to speak at the 14 slot, the 14 UTC slot?
I mean, timing. I have a poor, I can not hear you very well, but that's probably due to my Wi-Fi connection, but.
Okay. So can you hear me? If we're just looking to make sure that this time slot works for you at this point, the whole hour of the 14 o'clock UTC.
Yeah, so that's 4 o'clock European time, Amsterdam time, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, same as today. Yeah.
It might be
same as today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So will it be yourself or a couple of speakers, do you think?
That's something I think we are involved in 2 sessions. There's also one at night, I mean, for our time. That's the one I'm covering. And I think this one, I need to check whether this will be me or my colleague Mike. So I need to check this. I will do this straight away.
Great. Yeah, if you could confirm, then we'll just update the details. But yeah, as long as someone is there. And if the one at night is difficult because it is very late, we can also do a video or.
No, we already discussed that the late night session will be okay for us.
Okay, great. That's very kind of you.
But I can guarantee, for both sessions there will definitely be somewhere. I just need to check on this one whether it will be me or my colleague Mike. So.
Perfect.
Okay.
So if you can get back to us today, that would be today, tomorrow at the latest, so we can update the panelists' information. That would be fantastic. Okay. So what the screen that you're seeing now? Yep. Go ahead.
For the introduction, you need a few lines on our institutes and biographies or something, or.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think just for purposes, maybe your organization, your title, I was going to look at your profile on the RDA website and link to that.
Yeah, I personally don't have a profile on the RDA website yet, so maybe I should actually do so straight away.
Yeah, that's a good point. I would recommend that. Yeah, if you can do that, that would probably we can reuse that.
Yeah. No, that's actually an excellent opportunity to do so. So I will do this straight away.
Thank you.
By the way, I see that Margriet has also joined our meeting.
Hello, Margriet.
Hi. I can hear you, but I can't see anything.
We have no webcams on right now.
Okay, so I thought maybe the webinar thing was running somehow, but okay, no, then it's fine.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a good point. I didn't talk about that with Rob or before, but yeah, Marguerite, what we're doing is just going through the timing and just the high level expectations of what we'll be doing on Monday.
Good.
Yeah, so I just spoke with, so Case just mentioned we have the webinar at 14 o'clock UTC. So we're just trying to determine who will be the speaker for the 23 things at that time. And then Case it will coordinate with you on the back end on who, and Micah on who that would be. And then the 11 o'clock UTC, Case mentioned we have that covered. You have that covered already for a speaker. So that's what we've covered up to this point. And then we were just talking about to promote, we want to know your title and your name. So I said my intent was to link to the member profiles on the website with that information. So if your information's not updated and you'll be presenting, we would just recommend that you would do that.
Okay. As long as we have a link to something, I'm sure Case and I can add some names.
That would be great. Okay. So we're looking at having a 1 hour presentation webinar. We don't want to go over, just out of respect for our attendees. That's what we told them how long it would be. So we want to stick at an hour if at all possible. We're going to spend the first 5 minutes introducing. So Daniel and I will do an introduction, which will basically go over the technology, the logistics, introduce all of you. And then we'll do, each of you will have your presentations. So as I mentioned a Case earlier, Marguerite, we're thinking the presentations themselves from all of you will be about 12 minutes. And we're going to add the question, each of you will have 5 minutes for question and answers with the attendees. So you have about a total of 17 minutes. The order of the speakers is still to be determined, especially for the earlier one. We're waiting on our other speaker to see how that will play out, but I'll update you later this week on where your order will be in the flow.
Just to make sure that I really understand, is that our project, the 23 things, has in total this 12 minutes, right? You have like 2 different or 3 other speakers from other projects on the similar theme.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, you almost got me confused, that I thought that 4 of us had to do something 12 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Fine.
Okay. We'll spend 2 to 4 minutes concluding and thanking people for coming. We are asking for the slides that you're going to be presenting by Thursday, so we can share those slides with the attendees and format them as needed in time for Monday's presentation. We'll also be sending the presentation to attendees and registrants after the meeting as well. And if you can't get them, just let us know. We'll work with you. In terms of outreach, we've been doing a little outreach up to this point. We have a huge registration numbers yet, but this week we're going to be doing an email to all of our member community. Our regions are each doing their own outreach to their partners and their members and their contacts. In each of the group pages, the working and interest group pages, what is pretty effective is we post, the Secretariat posts messages there promoting the webinars. We don't do that for every news item, but this one we're going to use the group page post channel to get the message out on the webinars next week. And of course, social media. We'll be using LinkedIn and Twitter this week to get word out to bump up attendance. We have maximum capacity of 500 attendees, so not registrants, but we can actually have 500 people in the audience. We've never gone that high. I think our max has been 200. But we have the option to really expand if needed. But usually the average attendees, I think, are about 100 or so. In post communications, we'll be doing a satisfaction survey, and we'll be emailing the attendees and registrants, even if they didn't attend, the link to the presentation. And we're also going to promote the online catalog, which is on the website, which helps users find what outputs are most relevant to them. And there's also, you are probably aware of the CoData call for papers, so this is an excellent opportunity to get that word out as well. So that's our plan. Any questions on communications?
No.
No.
Okay, and my dog is starting to bark, so just bear with me if he gets loud. I'm warning you. Okay.
Feed him properly.
Oh, we feed him too properly. Oh. Okay, so just to give you some foundation versus organizers versus panelists versus attendees. Right now, I'm an organizer, and the three of you are panelists. When you come on, we're going to ask that you join the event 10 to 15 minutes prior to the start, and that will allow us a chance to easily identify you, and we're going to be changing you as an organizer. So right now, I'm going to show you what that's like. So Marguerite, I'm making you an organizer. In Case, I'm also making you an organizer. And we don't have Bridget here. But when I do that, that is going to allow you to view the questions that are coming in the question box below. So can you both see the question? If you expand that, you can see questions that come in. We don't have any attendees on right now, but when you do, you'll be able to see them in real time as they come in. And typically, if you were to stay as a panelist, you would not be seeing those questions. So what we've been hearing is the presenters prefer to see the questions come in real time in an effort to prepare and to respond accordingly. And Daniel and I will be happy to help you moderate those questions as well. But we just found that based on feedback, that's the preference. When you do when it comes time to present, we'll be also assigning you presenter access. So unless you want us to maintain your slides and switch the slides for you. But what we've also been hearing is the presenters prefer to control their own slides. So Case or Marguerite, is that okay with you if we give you presenter access at that time?
Yeah, I think so.
Perfect. The attendees will be in listen-only mode, so that you won't be able to have a verbal conversation with them. They'll be instructed at the beginning of the webinar that if they have questions, they can type them in the question panel. But the reason we do that is because if you have 100 people on and you'll have feedback and people talking over each other, and it can get pretty messy. So that's a best practice that we've been doing. I mean, if you had a small group of 10 people, I mean, it can still get a little messy, but at least it's a more controlled environment. But this is what we found works best for us. Does that work for you? You just keep them in listen-only mode?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. We talked about question and answers. At the beginning of the introduction of the webinar, Daniel and I will be introducing something called Slido, which allows people, it'll be more of an icebreaker. Daniel, you want to talk about this a little bit, the Slido technology?
Yeah, so you might already know it or have used Mentimeter, which is similar, but it just allows us to do a quick poll of the audience. For example, what domain they're coming from and what their roles are. So we get just a sense of who's attending and why they're in the webinar. So we'll do that, at the very beginning, and hopefully that also helps you to, direct your presentation and comments to the audience.
Yep. And if you have any handouts, like the 23 Things flyer, if you want to put that out, or any other related information, you can give that to us ahead of time, and we can have them featured down in the little handouts box for attendees as well.
Okay.
Any questions? You guys are good.
Can we run a trial with the screen sharing option?
Sure. And let me give you presenter access. Case, I'm doing that now. Okay, so you should have access.
Okay,
Now
yeah.
your screen. I see it.
Yeah, you know, because I'm working on 2 screens, so I'm not sure which. You see my EOX Synergies screen is
Yes.
being shared, I think.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
I see
That's
it.
the one.
Okay.
I use the same presentation. Don't worry.
Work package 6.
You just might want to
No,
go
just
in.
yeah, and yeah. Okay, yeah. No, and I go to full screen just in this way. I see. Okay. Clear.
Okay. And then, so I will request access back from you.
Yeah.
You should get a message there. Good.
And most likely Marguerite and I will run the evening session together, and then so that's possible. Then we are both then organizers, and we can actually, you know, one can provide presentation and the other can answer the questions, for example.
Right.
This is all possible, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, you denied my request for access though, Case.
Did I? Okay. Sorry.
I'm glad we're testing though.
No, I mean that's what I say. I mean, I have so many screens and applications open that I kind of lost track of what's going on where.
Let's see if you can get it.
And
Can you right click and then give me access?
I haven't seen any kind of request from you coming up, so wonder now where this might be.
So if you click on, you see the attendees window, right? For the GoToWebinar.
Yeah.
If you right click on my name, or if you right clicked on my name, you can make me presenter.
Well, I'm just.
We now have a look at your email box.
Yeah, no. No, but let me check, because how can as I say, I don't see the dashboard is there.
It's like an
Then,
orange
okay,
sneeuwvlog.
it's no, I see there are just too many unfolded.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back to normal.
Okay.
Very good. And you're okay, Marguerite? Do you want me to do that with you? Or are you comfortable?
I'll just leave this to Case. I'll read the chats.
Okay.
We'll practice again. We'll practice again before the start of the meeting on Monday. Make sure that we're okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
All right. The webcams, I think I forgot to bring that up earlier with the other speakers, but if usually you can turn your we recommend turning the webcam on just to show your face for a little bit, but if you're not comfortable doing that, we don't have to. But usually just, you know, when you do your introduction, say hello, my name is Case Hawk, and then I'm going to turn it off for bandwidth reasons, but I just, you know, to put a face to a name type thing, and then you turn your webcam off is totally acceptable as well. I'll remind the others to do that as well if you're comfortable doing that.
Fine.
Yeah, it's fine for me.
Great. So that's about it. Daniel, did I forget anything?
I think that's the main Those are the main points.
Yeah.
So we have, I'll put this in the chat. Just the page with the adoption week information. So if anything needs to be changed there, particularly the presenters, do let us know. And then I guess, yes, we try and meet 15 minutes before next Monday. Yeah.
Yep. Slides by Thursday, if possible.
Yeah. Did we already receive templates for the slides from you? I don't think so yet. Or
Yeah, that's the first link here
Yes.
in the presentation. Yeah. And I can put that in the chat window as well. Thank you. I forgot that last time too.
Yeah.
And then just update your profile so we can get the promotion. Yeah,
we will.
Open with Google.
Yeah, there they are. Excellent.
Yeah, so this is basically, there's too many slides here, but it gives you a foundation for the template for your information. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me.
Do you have a standard? Do you have you prefer a standard first slide for the different talks, or?
So
because
I think
the one you shared with us.
Slide 6 starts with the data management. So if you can maybe work off of slides, the format used in 6 and 7, that might be helpful. But I mean, if we're flexible, if there's a different, if you have a presentation slide deck already in place, use that. Save yourself. You're presenting. Try to incorporate it as much as possible. Yeah, it looks like you have a
we'll
whole,
mail them.
Yeah.
We'll mail them in advance anyway, so you can just check whether it fits the proper setup.
But you will share this slide with us, Yolanda?
Yeah, I'll send you the presentation that I just shared with you, and I also just put it in the chat window.
Okay, great.
So you guys should be good for now, and I'll get this out to you in a second. Let me.
Fine.
So I think that's it. I'm probably share, copy, and I'm putting the link to what I just presented to you in the window as well. So that was what I just presented, all the practice logistics. So I think we're good. So if you have any questions this week, though, reach out to both of us and we'll be happy to help you.
Okay, great.
Okay. Thank you so much for doing this. We appreciate it.
Okay. Good luck with telling the same story over and over.
I think I'm done now, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Bye-bye.
Have a good evening. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Daniel.
Bye.
Bye, Kate.
Bye.
Bye, Marguerite.
Bye-bye.